and other initiatives geared towards greater gas monetization and utilization in our country.
For President Muhammadu Buhari, it is seemingly absurd or even contradictory that Nigeria, as more of a gas nation, focused on oil over the years, hence the more proactive push towards gas development by his administration.
We acknowledge that Nigeria has still more work to do in the gas space. Gas has enormous potential to diversify and uplift Nigeria's economy for the good of the country. We intend to seize this opportunity. Our major objective for gas sector is to transform Nigeria into an industrialized nation with gas playing a major role through enhanced accelerated gas revolution.
Already, he said, remarkable progress has been made towards achieving the objectives, including developing gas infrastructure, promoting domestic gas utilization, commencing the process of commercializing gas flares, development of industrial and transport gas markets, as well as increasing gas to power. Other policies and projects kick-started include the National Gas Expansion Program, Auto Gas Policy, and the construction of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas pipeline.
Global developments have indeed presented us an opportunity. Gas will become the dominant fuel for generating power, not only across the world, but in Africa as well. The question now is, can we rise up to the challenge? The Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC are in various regards setting the pace.
The president used the opportunity to appreciate Nigeria LNG for contributing about 1% to the nation's GDP, $114 billion in revenues, $9 billion in taxes, $18 billion in dividends to government, and $15 billion in feed gas purchase. There were goodwill messages from Secretaries General of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Gas Exporting Countries, International Energy Forum, as well as the Nigeria LNG. The conference is a prelude to the 4th edition of the International Petroleum Summit to be hosted by Nigeria later this year. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Away from gas development, President Muhammadu Buhari is again insisting that all citizens of the country have a stake in the Nigeria project and must play a part in not only its unity, peace and progress, but constantly keep faith with the promise of a greater nation. He said diversities in religion, culture and ethnicity, notwithstanding, Nigerians are better and stronger together. This was while participating virtually at this year's Bola Ahmed Tinubu colloquium held in Kano. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
The colloquium 12 in the series had as its theme, Our Bond, Our Commonwealth, the imperative of national cohesion for growth and prosperity. President Muhammadu Buhari described it as a fitting reflection of the service that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given not only to Lagos, Nigeria, and indeed Africa, but also his continuing commitment and influence as one of the greatest pillars of the governing APC.
Asiwaju is a known advocate of unity and cohesion in Nigeria. This has been a constant factor in his outstanding political career. I think the lessons of this colloquium are clear. Our very best course of conduct, whether as leaders and citizens, is to now ensure that justice and harmony reigns in Nigeria, to devote the resources of our country solely to its development and for the benefit of all our citizens, and in the process to ensure that every Nigerian feels comfortable in every part of Nigeria.
The president said, despite occasional inter-ethnic tensions in Nigeria's national history, one thing is certain: the citizens are not only counting their blessings in Nigeria, but also seeing in them the crucial factor of peace and unity.
I can also relate personally to the ideals of one Nigeria. As a military officer, I have served with great comrades from all the nooks and crannies of our country. I have seen over and over again that their goodness or failings do not depend on ethnicity or religion. I have also been opportune to serve in all parts of Nigeria, seeing firsthand the enticing possibilities of a strong, united nation. More importantly, I fought for the unity of Nigeria as well as the civil war. The peacekeeping, recovery, and reconstruction that followed could also not have succeeded under an atmosphere of inter-ethnic animosity. We must constantly keep faith with the promise of a greater Nigeria.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who also spoke at the event, poured encomiums on Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his statesmanship and selflessness in service to the nation and humanity.
Because he is not afraid of having his ideas scrutinized, criticized by even his subordinates. He's able to lead a vast array of persons of strong, deeply held convictions and a variety of ideologies. He is completely comfortable engaging across ethnic, religious, and partisan divides.
The colloquium is put together to commemorate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 69th birthday. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, Nta News.
Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari has described the national leader of the All Progressives Congress APC as an icon and pillar of democracy in Nigeria and West African sub-region. He was speaking virtually at the 12th colloquium to celebrate the 69th birthday of the former Lagos governor, which held in Kano.
Birthdays are traditionally a moment for merrymaking, but for the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is more than just that. For the past 12 years, it is being used to reflect on the state of the nation and proffer solution. As he clocks 69 this year, the colloquium focused on unity. Our common bond, our common wealth, the imperative of national cohesion for growth and prosperity is the theme of the 12th colloquium.
This topic is a challenge to the politicians, to the elites, even to the ordinary men in Nigeria.
Today is Assurance Day. It's about him and it's about Nigeria.
This colloquium is with a difference. It is different because it demonstrates the sense of unity in Nigeria.
Other speakers express optimism that Africa will achieve the envisioned growth and prosperity despite prevailing challenges. Bringing the event to Kano, the celebrant stated, is to strengthen the bond of brotherhood among Nigerians of diverse ethnic and religious backgrounds.
It's because there is a Fulani man who gave his daughter to a farmer, Yoruba man.
For Governor Ganduje, this is a great honor to the state and its people. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, Nta News.
In the meantime, the federal government has launched 50 billion naira export expansion facility program EEFB grant management system and also flagged off the Export Development Fund for non-oil exports. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Nta I says export growth is at the center of the ministry's strategy for diversifying Nigeria's sources of foreign exchange. Leah Katumbabatunde reports.
I have a wife, I have kids, I have people that feed under me. If this company closed down, what are they going to do? Are we going to beg on the street? So we are scared. As you can see, we are all scared. We are not happy because every day I come in, I'm afraid. I don't know what is going to happen in the next tomorrow.
This was Ibrahim Ali 3 years ago at one of the manufacturing companies in Sharat Estate, Kano, a concern they attributed to the export expansion grant facility. Many stages have been passed, and at 33.3%, there are concerns over the rising unemployment figures fueled by the coronavirus pandemic. However, there is good news. as the federal government flags off the Export Expansion Facility Program EEFP to increase non-oil export capacity in the near term and volumes in the medium term.
It will also provide economic incentives to ease the economic effects of COVID-19 on players in the export sector, fast-track the zero-oil plan to create jobs and further expand other avenues to earn foreign exchange in Nigeria other than crude oil.
The Export Development Fund would serve to complement the other areas that were not covered by the MSME Survival Fund, that is for export-oriented businesses.
The Export Development Fund will support micro, small and medium enterprises, with technology playing a critical role here, as prospective beneficiaries would have to get online and pass through thorough checks. It is part of the 2.3 trillion naira economic sustainability plan.
The President approved 350 billion naira to clear backlogs on the EEG. So the National Assembly has approved so far 194 billion out of it, and they've been paid. So the others that have not been paid, there have some delay in the last National Assembly, the 8th National Assembly, but this one will sort it out. So those companies will benefit under some kind of COVID relief. But the one we launched today is the export development. That's the incentive that we have not used at all.
This post-shipment grant, government says, will be of immense support to factory workers like Ibrahim Ali as it works towards moving the economy from pandemic to prosperity. In Abuja, Leah Katungbaba today, NTA News.
And joining us in the studio is the Deputy Director of Incentives, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Dahatu Lawal. You're welcome to NTA International Studio, Mr. Lawal.
Thank you very much.
How does the portal for the Export Expansion Facility Program, EEFP, work, and how long will it last?
Well, the portal actually works effectively. It was brought up actually to fast-track and facilitate the processing of applications from beneficiaries. The portal actually will work throughout the period of the implementation of the Export Expansion Facility, and will also continue to work even after the expiration of this particular project to handle our other activities within the council that are processed or handled by the council, especially the Export Expansion Grant, which is also another incentive that has been implemented by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council.
Mr. Lawa, are there categories of goods eligible for the program and target destination?
Well, basically, this particular incentive we're looking at actually focuses on the SMEs, and it's a pre-shipment incentive that targets all exporters, especially the SMEs, and potential exporters that are exporting eligible goods that are approved by the federal government for export. So any commodity that is non-oil falls within this category, and that is not banned or under the export prohibition list. So it covers virtually all non-oil export commodities except those that are under the export prohibition list.
Okay, now, are there quotas for women, youth, and also the people living with disability?
Yes, well, the Export Development Fund actually it's more of a gender sensitive, in the sense that even in the online portal that has been developed, it was specifically one has to indicate whether, especially gender, whether those companies are run by female or any lady. Well, in terms of those having disabilities, the scheme actually looks at generally where it's more of a company-specific kind of a program that focuses on companies that are Nigerian companies. So whether that company is owned by a disabled person or a youth, it's covered automatically by the grant. And then the Export Expansion Facility, as a general program, actually has components that focuses on women, that the Women in Export program that is covered within the particular program. And then there's also the Youth Export Development Program, which is also within the EEF that covers those particular group of people.
Oh, okay. It's a good thing you actually say that. It's actually focusing on Nigeria industries as well as company. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal. At this point, we'll let you go. Thank you for coming to us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that was Mr. Dahatu Lawal of Nigeria Export Promotion Council. Away from that, the Senate and some participants at a public hearing have reaffirmed their positions that the passage of the teaching hospital for the Modibo Adama University, Yola, and the National Dermatology Hospital, Garikida establishment bills in Adamawa State has become very necessary. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo completes the report.
Less than 1 month after the Senate considered and passed for second reading bills seeking to establish teaching hospital for the Modibo Adama University, Yola, the Federal Medical Center, and the National Dermatology Hospital, Garkida, they have been subjected to public hearing.
The establishment bills focus on growing the health infrastructure and human capital development for the health sector.
Presently, Nigeria, a country of over 200 million people, does not have a tertiary health hospital dedicated to dermatological issue and training.
The intent of the bills, sponsored by Senator Aishatu Dahiru Binani, is to give legal backing to all existing federal medical centers in Nigeria, strengthen health facilities and personnel in the Northeast and Nigeria in general.
Existing federal medical centers automatically become teaching hospitals following presidential approval in states that have federal universities without medical schools.
What the Senate does is to give a backing, and this is what they are doing today.
I'm totally in alignment with this, and I think it's great, and we thank President Muhammadu Buhari for all his support to the people of Adamawa State.
The public hearing also sought public opinion on the motion to regulate the manufacturing, importation and use of syringes and needles to protect lives and safety of Nigerians and the economy.
But the information that will be provided that most of these importations are substandard ones. And because of that, they are cheap. They are killing the local manufacturers.
The public hearing was convened by the Senate Committee on Health. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. Let's take a short break now. More news when we return. Do stay.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Ntel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit ntel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Ntel. Live more.
Glad to have you back. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is continuing with a strategic consultative meeting on Vision 2050 in Abuja with a focus on eradicating poverty and promoting peace and prosperity in the West African region. Charles Alpha reports.
Achievement of ECOWAS and the roadmap for the development of its Vision 2050, review of the first draft and popularization of the ECOWAS vision at the regional and subnational level were some of the areas of concern as it engages decentralized stakeholders comprising governors and mayors of cities on ECOWAS 2050 vision.
Some of these issues that still need to be addressed in many countries are as follows. The clarification of the missions and roles of local actors, the effectiveness and efficiency of the functioning of local and regional administrations with regard to the transfer of authority and resources.
The need for synergy and collaboration between the citizens and the ECOWAS Commission is crucial for our sub-regional development.
Stakeholders believe the issue of poverty and underdevelopment among member states can be eradicated through synergy and identifying workable strategies to actualize its vision.
We share the conviction with ECOWAS that now is the time to invest in the people, but also in the legal frameworks and institutions of the region.
The stakeholders meeting presents an opportunity for members to speak on their aspirations and articulate priority issues targeted at improving the lives of its citizens at the grass level. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, Nta News.
In other news, the decision by the federal government to rehabilitate the Port Harcourt refinery must be commended and not criticized. National President of the Niger Delta Nonviolent Agitators Forum, Wisdom Ikule, gave the advice during a media briefing in Abuja. Nta I completes the story.
Here lies the solution to the challenge of fuel supply in Nigeria. The Port Harcourt refinery, not in the best of state, $1.5 billion from the federal coffers to rehabilitate it. Thanks to the President and the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva. For the Niger Delta Non-Violent Agitators Forum, these and many more demonstrate the place of the Niger Delta in the agenda of the federal government.
The huge investments Chief Timi Silva has attracted to the Niger Delta region, among which are the commencement of the Nigerian liquefied natural gas LNG Train 7 in the famous Bonny Island in Rivers State. The over $3,600,000 brass fertilizer and petrochemical, the Olebri Otabagi Oil and Gas Museum and Research Institute, all in Bayelsa State.
Huge projects that will address unemployment and open up the economy of the region. But great synergy is expected.
During politics, you can run under political parties. But after elections, all the parties come together to collectively develop the state. And that is why I am very happy with the synergy between Chief Timi Silva and our great leader and governor, Doye Diri.
Good tidings beckons, and the youths must create ecosystem of peace for the project to be actualized. Nta I, Nta News.
In the meantime, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described as imperative the Nasarawa State government effort in opening the state to global tourism. Lai Mohammed stated this when he took an inspection tour of the ongoing work at the Lafia Airport. Anthony Fossen reports.
The concept of the project was for Nasarawa State to have a cargo airport, as explained by the state's commissioner for works.
Because of the predominantly agricultural nature of the economy of Nasarawa State and the solid mineral endowment that Nasarawa State has.
Presently at 85% completion, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the Nasarawa State government has justified every investment being made to promote tourism.
An airport is very critical, not just to the economic development of a place. So investing in this airport, I think it was a very wise move by the government and people of Nasarawa State.
He called on other states with such potentials to emulate the Nasarawa State efforts.
Because you all know how critical an airport is to tourism development.
With few months to be completed for inauguration, having had its maiden flight in May 2019, the State Deputy Governor says plans are underway to increase the 2.2-kilometer runway to 2.5 kilometers for the airport to be multipurpose.
Believing that they're going to add value to governance and to the economy of the citizens of the state. And the airport is one of those priority areas that we thought we should complete. And you know, building an airport is quite expensive and it's costing us quite some money. But we thank God that we're continuing with it. And like the Commissioner mentioned, hopefully in the next few months we'll have the control cabin brought in and installed. And once that is done and the other aeronautical devices are put in place, we shall have this airport kicking before the year runs out.
And in terms of flight safety, the airport, he added, will come handy for flights in distress. Anthony Fossen, Nta News.
And now sports updates with Tamara Ebiwe.
Sports updates. AFCON-bound Super Eagles are set to round off their qualification series of the most prestigious tournament on the continent when they take on Lesotho on Tuesday in Lagos. The Super Eagles play in Surulere for the first time in 20 years with a matchday 6 encounter against the Crocodiles after a 1-0 victory over Benin Republic in Porto Novo sealed their qualification for Cameroon in 2022. Away from the Super Eagles, the finals of the National